Hi everybody, welcome back. Now I wasn't raised eating beef stroganoff. My mama prepared Mexican food most of the time. Now when I was in my 20s, I learned how to make beef stroganoff sometime in my 20s, and I've been preparing it ever since. My Ron absolutely loves beef stroganoff because that's something his mama prepared a lot. Now I've got 1 1/3 pound of ribeye steak right here. Now you can use top sirloin, you can even use ground beef. You can use your favorite cut of meat. Now I love the ribeye steak because it's got great marbling and it'll come out super tender. Now I'm slicing it pretty thin, as you can see, just like this, see? And this way we can sear it and cook it quickly. Now I put this meat in the freezer for just a few minutes so it can get nice and firm, and it's easier to cut that way. I'm gonna continue the process until I get it all done. I'm ready to season. Now I'm gonna season it lightly with just salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some kosher salt right here, and I'm gonna add my pepper. This is the way I like to season it because all the meat gets some of the seasoning. Now I'm gonna get all the beef and put it in here, and I'm gonna toss it around. I'm gonna be using this brazier right here, and it's nice and hot. I've got the heat set on about medium high, and I'm gonna be using bacon grease. Now the reason I'm using bacon grease is because it gives this dish a beautiful flavor. Now the bacon grease is not gonna dominate, it's just gonna give the dish a beautiful flavor. I'm gonna start adding my meat in here. And you don't want to overcrowd them. You wanna give them enough room so that they don't get steamy. You might have to prepare this in a couple of batches. Now the reason you don't want to overcrowd it is because when you get all those pieces of meat together real nice and tight, it's going to start producing steam, and then it releases a lot of water, and you'll never get that beautiful golden sear. That's why you want to give it space. Now I'm just going to wait until it gets nice and golden before I flip it over, and that's going to be quick. Now I'm just going to toss it around. I've got all my meat seared. Oh my gosh, and it smells heavenly. Look at all these bits down here in the bottom. This is what's gonna give the dish a beautiful flavor. Now I'm ready to add my butter. I have 3½ tablespoons of butter. Now I'm gonna add my onions. I have 1 cup of onions. Now you can cut them up any way you want. I like a lot of texture in my dish, so I like to cut them julienne style like this. But you can dice them nice and small, cut them up into big pieces, however you want. Now I'm gonna be moving my onions around until they get a beautiful color and they get nice and soft. Now the more they caramelize, the more they release their sugar. That means that it's gonna add the dish a beautiful flavor. So you wanna give the onions just a couple of minutes for them to get a beautiful color and to caramelize a little bit. Now I'm gonna add my mushrooms. I have 8 ounces of mushrooms. These were little baby bellas, and I sliced them. Now I sliced them thick because you know that mushrooms are mostly water. And once they cook a little bit, they shrink. I'm gonna be moving them around for about 3 or 4 minutes so they'll get a beautiful color, giving my onions a little bit more time to caramelize. Now I'm gonna add my garlic. I grated my garlic with my microplane. I didn't want the pieces of garlic to show. Now this is gonna be quick because you don't wanna burn your garlic. Just move it around. Now I'm gonna add my flour. 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. This is what's gonna give us that beautiful sauce, somewhat like a gravy. I'm gonna move it around so we can lose the raw flavor of the flour. Now I'm gonna add my beef stock. I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, sweet paprika. This is gonna give it a beautiful flavor and color. I'm gonna move it around slowly. I'm gonna lower the heat. Now I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes. And you do wanna taste it as you go along so you can adjust the salt. And you can add as much salt as you want. Oh man, that's delicious. Now it's been about 10 minutes and it's nice and thick, just the way we want it. Got rid of all the lumps. Now I'm ready to add my sour cream. Now I set my sour cream out here so that it could get room temperature. You don't want to add cold sour cream in here because it'll curdle. So I'm going to temper it by adding just a little bit of the sauce and mixing it in here. So it'll get just a little bit warm to match what's inside the brazier. Now I'm going to turn it off all the way, and I'm going to add my sour cream in here. And you want to mix it up real quick, non-stop. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Continue stirring it. And I'm going to add some cream cheese that's room temperature, real nice and soft. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And you want to be stirring it non-stop. Ooh, this looks scrumptious and it's nice and velvety smooth. Now I'm gonna add all the beef back in the brazier, juices and all. And I'm gonna add some parsley. Look at this, velvety smooth. Now I'm ready to serve. Ron, you want to do the taste test with me?
Yes, of course.
Of course he does. Now I'm going to be serving this with mashed potatoes and with noodles because my Ron loves the noodles and I love the mashed potatoes. So here are the mashed potatoes. Now our beef stroganoff right on top. Beautiful. And my buttered noodles. Delicious. Yum. Mm-hmm.
That looks good.
It does. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of parsley right on top. And a little bit on mine. Now there's another ingredient that my Ron absolutely loves, and so do I. He's the one that introduced me to it. Now these are little gherkins. You can use any kind of pickles that you want. And I'm gonna slice them, just cut them up into little pieces, it doesn't matter, because the acidity of the gherkins goes beautiful with this dish. Just like this. And then I like to just put them on top. These are, of course, they're optional, but I think that if you've never tried it and you try them, you're gonna love them. Now we're ready for the taste test. Are you ready, Ron?
Yes, of course. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Mmm.
Is yours good?
Mm-hmm. Mmm.
Cheers.
Mmm.
You did it again.
I did. And today, I didn't make an agua fresca. We're having a Coke Zero. Every now and then, I'll have a Coke Zero. This is heavenly delicious, isn't it, honey?
It is.
So this is my delicious beef stroganoff. If you like my recipe, give us a thumbs up, send me a comment, and tell me how you prepare yours, and tell me where you're from. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.